I'd like the first student athlete population come to join us, as well as the student, as well as the rest of the students, the faculty, the administrators, everybody who came to join us for this night. Let's get started. There are many. Tonight we have presentations from several members of both the student government, student athletes, and faculty, as well as athletic administration. I'd like to thank Nona Richardson for joining us tonight. Greg Rosecco was unable to attend due to a football rally in Walnut Creek.
Typical.
All right, so there's our thank yous, there's our introduction. Now, why are we here? We're here because we want a one-year state of execution as a chance to fundraise and to have the opportunity to go over the budget situation. By budget situation, we mean 120 student athletes plus the ASUCD controller plus ASUCD dig through ICA's budget. We're 85% funded by student athletes. We're 85% funded by students, and as such, the services we get are for our students. And not only, because UC Davis is so unique with the teacher-coach model, every loss of a coach is a loss of a teacher as well. So we'd like to maintain as many opportunities as we can, as well as many teaching opportunities and every service possible for this university as at low a cost as possible. All right, let's have our first speaker, Jack Swallow, president of ASUCD. You can come up now, Jack.
You know, I wish they would have sat me over there next to Greg. I like to have two chairs when I sit down. Good evening, and thank you all for coming. My name is Jack Swallow. I'm president of the Associated Students. I'm here to talk to you tonight about ASU's involvement in the ongoing struggle against the custody of intercollegiate athletics. The current system for ICA athletics is the funding system is based on the 1994 student initiative called the Student Activities and Services Initiative, otherwise known as SASI. The fee provided campus with a variety of new services and allowed students to choose the number of sports they'd like to see on campus and how many they'd like to support. There were three options for funding. One was zero subsidy, one was 17, and one was 23 sports, and students picked 23 sports. Fast forward to 2003. The students then made the decision to move from Division 2 to Division 1. Students voted on an initiative called the Campus Expansion Initiative, or CEI, which expanded scholarships and grants and aid to student athletes to fund the move to Division 1, and is guided by a set of core principles. Since these initiatives, our program has grown from 23 sports to 27. All student fee initiatives, including the CEI and SASI, serve as contracts between the students and the administration, and these contracts have been under attack in recent years. The most recent attack was the initial proposal by Student Affairs to slash the number of ICA sports by 9 to 10 teams, which is in direct violation of the contract established under the SASI initiative. And it may have come to pass too, if it hadn't been for some of the amazing student athletes we have here with us today. Student athletes angered at this action gathered cooperation from ASUCD and organized a united front to oppose this cut. They came in to express their opinions about the unfair proposal back in late March, in which the ASUCD Senate, in response, passed a resolution unanimously in solidarity with the athletes. The resolution discussed in great detail the problems the association had with the initial proposal. It would have plunged the number of sports in the ICA program from way far under the 23-sport minimum established by the SASI. Additionally, this plan appeared to cut a broad-based program, tier sports, and force teams to seek outside support to continue. All of those things are in contradiction with the core principles of the Campus Expansion Initiative. After the resolution was passed, the athletes didn't stop there. They went out and collected 2,100 signatures from the students in just under 48 hours. The support for athletes on this campus is strong, and the athletes themselves have shown that. They're unwilling to go down without a fight, and the association is here to help them continue that fight. Student Affairs has decided to lower the number of sports on the chopping block after that show of support from 10 to 4. And this is something I'd really like to emphasize. That number was decreased because of the actions taken by concerned students and devoted student athletes over the course of just a few days. The reason that number went down is because the students peaceful and respectful protests, petition with 2,000 signatures, and generally opposing the way that the university was trying to run. And recently, the Student Affairs Work Group on the ICA cuts decided to cut 4 sports teams. While this stays in line with SASE requirements and does not technically violate the CEI, it is still very unfortunate. More unfortunate still is the speed at which the university was responding to public records requests around the information used to make the decision and the budget data. While the amount of information that's been requested is very broad, the administration has said they will comply with the request on June 30th, just one day before the 4 teams will be finally and officially cut. The information that has been released around how the work group made the decision has been less than accurate in my opinion. One document was a matrix developed by the work group to measure competitive ability. After discussing with the chancellor some of the things I listed in this matrix, I still had questions. It had some teams with only a few teams that they could compete with listed as competitive, while other teams with more than a dozen competitive opportunities were listed as non-competitive. It also said some sports like wrestling and crew required major facilities renovations to stay competitive and were not necessarily the most cost-effective route. However, it came to my attention after, while talking to wrestlers, that they had just received the renovation of their facilities in the gym and that the crew had locked down a several-year long-term plan for the facilities. There were other factual inconsistencies, but if those are the documents that I've been looking at, or the documents the chancellor saw, then I believe the decisions were made in error. If not, I must urge again for a more open and transparent process and for the administration to release that revised data. And that sums up ASUCD's involvement in this process in recent months. I'd like to thank you all again for coming, and I'll give up the podium so we continue on this very important dialogue. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jack. All right, our next speaker is Nona Richardson, Associate Athletics Director and Senior Women Administrator on campus. In 2003, the CEI was passed.